Good evening. Welcome to the latest edition of Store Report Live. I am Chris Sipperly. I am the only one that's going to be here tonight in terms of hosting. Adam is working through a family emergency, so we wish him and his family the best on that front. But with that being said, I'm joined by 4-year veteran Troy Trent Jr. Welcome to the show, and welcome back in general.
Appreciate it. I'm glad I could be here. Glad we could make some time for this chit chat and catch up a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I was thinking on the way home, this is season 4 of this already.
It is season 4.
Yeah, so I think if I were to go back and count, and I will after this, I think this is probably close to episode 100. So we've done a lot. So it's definitely changed over the time that we've done it. I like to think we've grown. I know as a team we have. So let's just get right into it and kind of have the conversation that we're excited to have. So first and foremost, when did you start playing semi-pro football, and what position did you start out with?
2016 was my first year.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty much came out of my year at Hudson Valley and still wanted to play the game. So pretty much 2016 was the first rookie season, so to say. And yeah, so now here we are in 2024.
So you're like how old? Like 20?
I think I was 19 turning 20. Yeah.
That's a few days ago, but you've had, overall, I would, it seems as though it's been a pretty large part of your adult life,
I mean, for the most part, which I mean, I take nothing away from the time. So, being able to have those road trips, the home games where, just being able to meet new people, build those bonds, kind of form those true brotherhood, so to say, always been fun.
Yeah. And that actually kind of leads me into the next question. What does the semi-pro mean to you in your life on a day-to-day? Like what has it meant for you?
The biggest thing is it plays off as a sanctuary. Football is a huge part of my life, and I'm blessed every day to still be able to put pads on, and I have full health. Body feels good, which is the main thing. I know a lot of people have their own narratives about semi-pro, but ultimately it's been one of the best places to kind of just feel free, be able to be yourself in a full capacity. You don't really have to hold too many things back, so to say. You get on the field and it's you in your most organic form. So it's definitely been like a clearing of the mind, so to say.
Yeah, one of the things too, we briefly talked about last night. I noticed, on Facebook, yourself and a handful of guys that met through the storm got together for dinner, and that's the kind of stuff that I love seeing. Like that's what it's about. Like I can't even tell you how many people over the years that I've got to meet because of the team, and that's something for me personally that's meant a lot. Like at the end of the day, it's relationships. I say it all the time, like, 10 years from now, I want to be able to see in a grocery store and say, hey, remember the time we went to so-and-so, we beat him by 40, and then so-and-so did this on the way home, stuff like that.
Man, I'll kind of piggyback off that real quick. One of my actual childhood best friends, like still one of my good friends to this day, like we probably met when we were 7, and that was through football essentially. And you know what I mean? That's almost 20 years worth of a friendship that started off because of football, so it's definitely been nice to come across certain individuals, certain groups in which this is bigger than football. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
You can create friendships, brotherhoods, different bonds that just grow and grow, where it's like being able to meet somebody on the field, but then seeing their character off the field and seeing how you compare and everything like that, being able to grow. It's always nice.
Yeah, I agree. And it's also nice to see, like, when guy, like, to take it a step further, like, just think about, I know you don't see a lot of these guys, day to day, but just guys that you played against, guys that you see in Florida, for instance, that you didn't, like, a couple years ago, you're out there with Long Island and ran into one of our guys out there in Florida. Well, so it's just like, stuff like that's really, really cool. like it's kind of fun to kind of watch you guys, as crazy as it gets, sort of mix it up in the forums every once in a while. But at the end of the day, it's nice to see you guys, get together and commingle at the end of games, because I think sportsmanship at this level gets overlooked sometimes, and seeing that is really nice to see. So.
Truth, I agree.
So now we're working back towards 2024. How excited are you to be back in? I guess we'll say purple, green, and black.
I feel good. My biggest thing is I feel like 3 years ago, 4 seasons ago, whatever the case is, when we came together, we had a job. You know what I mean? We had a mission. We had goals that we wanted to accomplish with the Storm organization. Essentially with, you know what I mean, being able to have that time to rebuild, you know what I mean, like figure out our sense and what direction we were going in, that I feel is best for us. It feels good to be back. I feel like we're going to work as hard as we can to finish this job that we started.
Right. Well, that's true. And like it all, it kind of goes, and I feel like we unfortunately talk about this more than we probably should, but it goes all the way back to 2020 in terms of not, finishing the job, so to speak. Like, we were on a pretty good clip. I think we we're 5-1 in 2020, and COVID obviously shut us down. And like, I'm proud of like what we've been able to do in the time that you've been here. We've been in 3 championship games, and of course we haven't won any of them. But not a lot of teams could say that. Like, I'm not, I'm not happy with second place, but it was good to kind of, look at the end of 22 and be like, all right, what do we have to do next? The only way to do that was kind of like, as you said, I don't mean to make it more than what it is, but in a lot of ways to find our purpose again and start, doing things, getting back into it for the right reasons. And you're one of those guys that have always been here for the right reasons. So we're excited to have you back for sure.
And plus, one thing I'll just add real quick is the way I kind of look at the previous seasons, and it's kind of, I don't know how I feel about saying this, but I mean, it is the truth. Sometimes you got to know what it feels like to lose to truly know what it feels like to win. You know what I mean? Like, the main thing is like, you've been there before. You know what it takes to get there, and you know what it takes to get back. So it's like maintaining that sense of, you know what I mean, like thought, and essentially just getting it done however means possible.
Yeah, I agree. And like, in terms of like 2023, it's like it was one of those things where it's almost like moving out of your parents' house for the first time. You kind of don't really realize what you had or what you missed until you don't have it. So that's part of like, the excitement that's kind of coming around with this team that I feel personally. Getting off in the woods here just a little bit. I got off the phone with a player this evening, and he's like, it's so much different than what it was in 22. Like, the sense of responsibility is just there that wasn't there last time. So, we're really excited about getting back out there and doing the things that we should be doing,
Yes, indeed.
So back in Black Friday, we put a video out that has our, I guess you can call them new uniforms, but maybe old uniforms with a new spin, I guess, for lack of a better phrase. So I'm saying this for this question. So we're going all black, all white. Which is your favorite, or is there a combination of both that you like the most, that you're looking forward to putting on film this year? Digitally, I guess I should say, digitally.
And for me, honestly, the all black is definitely it's going to be my favorite one. Honestly, I've never had the opportunity to wear a full black on black uniform. You know what I mean? In pads, like I've done black jerseys with flag and stuff like that, but like in a sense of black on black in pads, you know what I mean? It always hits different. And one of the biggest things is when you wear black for games, you always say you're wearing black for the funeral. So, you know what I mean? Essentially, every time we put that black on, it's going to be like we're dressed for the funeral, essentially.
Yeah, it's, I was, we talk about this ahead of time, but like I've been kind of haven't talked to coach about it or anybody else yet, but like I keep going back and forth in my head. Like I think it'd be kind of cool to wear all white at home under the lights because it's. But then on the flip side, I kind of want to wear white on turf. From a laundry standpoint.
I mean, the last thing we want to do is be walking around looking like walking grass stains.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like it's cool. Like we did like in 17 we did that's true, Donnie. That's true.
Definitely is true.
But I do have to tell you, we have lost exactly twice in that black uniform over 5 seasons. So I think it's actually a good luck charm.
And we might make that 0 in 2024.
That'd be all right. But let's make sure we take care of the biggest game, and that'll be at the end of the year, hopefully.
True.
Well, yeah. Anyway, so like in 2017, not to bore you with flows, but 2017 we did white jersey, black pants didn't really work, but we found like when we did the photos that black jersey, white pants might work. So we might have some different combinations this year that we're kind of excited about. So in a whole, like, what does it mean to be back in Southern Vermont to you?
When I say this, I take nothing away from any organization that I played with in the past. It's something about, your home away from home. Yeah. And I kind of look beyond just in a sense of playing football. You know what I mean? I loved each area that I've played in before, especially like Long Island, here upstate. But there's something different about Bennington. It's a different environment, different atmosphere.
It is.
And it gives a whole different peace of mind, so to say. And just being able to go back this season, you know what I mean, and being around that environment, being at Lower Willow, it's definitely just, it's going to hit different, and it's going to feel like, in a sense, I'm back at that second home.
Yeah, we talked about it before with other guys. Like, for me personally, on a personal level, like this team has been a part of my entire adult life. It's been around since 2006. And like, there's been other opportunities. I will admit though, I did play one game for one other team once, and I'll never. And I'm old and shot. I won't now, but I'll never play for. My helmet will never be any other color other than green. Like that's just the way it is for me personally. And like for me, we all know what goes on in the recruiting process for this level of football. The biggest thing is, from an organizational standpoint, just be happy where you're at. Don't just go somewhere because of this or that. Just be happy. And like, that was the thing that speaking with you is you seem happy here and you seems happy that you're back. So for me, that's what it's about. Let's see. Sorry, I got a little bit of a list here. So I'm a little bit out of practice. I usually have Adam, and Adam does a great job of asking those journalistic questions that I don't possess. So there are a lot of there's a blend of new players, returning players. Of those new players, is there a new player that you're looking forward to playing with, and is there a player that you're going to be playing with again that you're excited about? I know it's a 2-part question. You can pass in either one, but have you really given that any thought?
And so honestly, I've kind of had an opportunity in the last couple of weeks to see some of these guys in action, off-season action, so to say. Joey Ward is a guy that I'm looking forward to seeing on the field.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice to be back with Jalen.
Yep.
Just that's the brother from another mother in a sense. It's going to be nice to have my boy Manny back on the other side of me. I can't forget to obviously add Manny because I think he might hit me up after this and have a couple of words. So got to make sure.
Always come from a warm place though, even if he did.
Yeah, I mean, honestly though, outside of those guys, I look forward to being around the entire group. Obviously we got, my brother. he knows who he is. I don't got to name him on this, but
yeah.
you know what I mean. I got him. It's going to be exciting. You know, essentially just the blend of old with the blend of new. There's a lot of exciting guys to watch and get to learn with this upcoming season.
What you said was right on point. Like in terms of like what I've heard. Like obviously your opinion is your opinion, so it is exactly that. But I spoke to BB I think a week ago, and I said, "Hey, what are you hearing? How are you feeling?" And exactly what you just said is exactly what he said. And I had a conversation with a player tonight. Same thing. So it's pretty exciting to kind of like know that you guys are locked in. It is refreshing considering where we came from.
I kind of feel bad that you mentioned them, but I didn't mention them. BB, you already know we pushing P all year, bro. I just had to throw that in there. We're pushing big P's, bro. You know what it is.
No doubt about it. No, it's been fun so far. Like getting the team back together, meaning putting a team together. It's team first. Coach Grimes has done a great job as well as Coach Williams and Coach Cousins and Coach Samara. Like they've all like contributed in a bunch of different ways, and like just like the excitement of being able to say, yeah, this guy belongs here. That's something we didn't really do before. It was like, if you want to come play, come play. We're in a much different place now. So far we've accomplished the goal of that hard reset. It's been fun for sure.
I mean, that's the way it should be. At the end of the day, it is. People always say like it is semi-pro, but at the end of the day, you know what I mean. A standard has to be set. A bar has to be set.
Yep.
So I feel like with the direction that we're going in right now, and we're setting the bar, and we're gonna push to exceed by the time we get to the end of the season.
No, I agree. It's been, like I said, it's been a good process. It's been a hard process in some ways. But at the end of the day, it's about getting the right guys in the door and the guys that are here for the right reasons. And for the most part, I think we've accomplished that goal. So again, we talked about there being some new players that may not know you personally. I know you've started to kind of work that channel in terms of getting guys involved with some communications, but as somebody that is emerging as a leader, what should they know about you?
I mean, outside of you throwing that word in there, leader, that's the first thing, first and foremost. I feel like at this point, obviously knowing that my light is dimming, so to say, with my playing days. My main thing is trying to build up, those younger players, trying to build up those guys who either have known me for the last few years of like, listen, you know what I mean? We got this goal in mind, so let's come together, do what we have to do to accomplish that goal. But, the one thing that I would definitely want the guys this year to know is that from day one, so March 23rd, when we show up for that first workout, it's going to be 110% from me from that moment on, where it comes down to holding not just myself accountable, but the next person, just making sure that we're all doing our jobs and all doing what we have to do to accomplish this goal that we want to achieve at the end of the year.
Well, that's a good message, because I think that's the biggest thing, is just making sure that everybody walks that same line. Like, not one person has a straight line and this guy has a zigzag. No, this is the goal. The quickest way to go anywhere is straight. So let's make sure we keep straight, in terms of our focus.
Nope.
2024 will be your fourth season with the Storm. Over that 4 years, is there a game or a moment that stands out to you that you'll always look back on and be like, that was all right?
So I have a game and I have a moment.
Yeah.
The game that I'll probably use was, I think, I don't remember what week it was. I know it was 2022. We were down in Worcester. When we came back and ended up winning the game, I think it was 26-21 or something like that.
Fantastic.
But that was the ultimate team win, the ultimate, I guess you could say, like full circle moment of just full happiness with the people that are closest to you, and essentially just like a feel good moment in a sense.
Yeah, I agree.
And then moment probably would be the 0-yard pick six that I had against the Vermont Ravens.
Yeah, I still don't know how that happened.
Standing in the end zone, ball somehow gets thrown for whatever reason, and so I mean, I'll never forget that one because how do you get a pick six and have 0 return yards for it? But
yeah, that really hurts the average. But no, you're right. Like I remember, like I honestly, like for us, again, we're essentially I don't want to call ourselves a new team, but at the time in 22, that was like finally like slaying the boogeyman, because up until that point, like the Wildcats historically are very well ran, very well coached. They're really good at executing. They have a coach there. I can't remember his name, older fellow, but he is in tune. Like he knows what we're going to run, where it's going to go. So for us, like that's for me as a coach, that was the first time we ever beat them. I never beat them before. So that was huge. And I really felt like that, at that moment, I think I said it at the time, maybe not, but I said that is a championship caliber win. I think I said that. I don't know.
I think you definitely said that.
So that was a big deal. But you know what? Hey, that's history. Now we gotta rally up and get ready to beat whoever we play. So
listen, this season we're making new moments. We're gonna have more things to look back on and be able to talk about in a grand sense.
No, I agree. I'm looking forward to the bus trips, to be honest. Like that is something that is sorely missed. We used to do that all the time back in the day. But that's, to me, that's where that's the thing, like with, at this level of sport, sometimes that bothers me is when guys, I'm not saying they don't have restrictions and they don't have stuff that comes up, but the road games are the games that you really make those memories. When you're all together and somebody does something stupid, and not stupid, but you know what I mean.
There's always going to be that person.
Right. So those are the kind of things, riding back in that bus after a win, riding home in that bus after a loss, like all that stuff matters. Like it's part of being on a team. It's part of experiencing football. And that's something I'm personally most excited for. All right. So my next question is, we talked about it a few minutes ago. We have a workout on 3/23, which seems to be the most popular date on the entire calendar this year. I think anybody that has football in their business name has a workout on the 23rd. So with that being said, what are you hoping to see?
Honestly, the biggest thing I'm looking forward to seeing is excitement. With the time we've had off, I feel like with everything that's been presented so far to get us anticipating this upcoming season, the main thing I want to see is excitement. I don't just want to see, guys rolling in like it's just, the first day of, some lab that they don't really care about, and just, I'm just here to get the grade, essentially. Like we're here to work. Like it's going to be excitement on a different level of, football's back. You know what I mean? The NFL season's over. Obviously, a lot of people miss it and everything, but now for us, it's our NFL season. So, the main thing is we need to come in from day one with a level of excitement of we're here to rock. You know what I mean? We're not just here to get rolled.
Oh, no doubt. And one thing I do want to mention is I being that it is a public, area, public workout, we do expect some people that we don't know about that are interested in playing. We're going to have to, sort of get in front of that. I certainly don't discourage it, but we just got to make sure that we, handle that correctly. And if there's somebody that's looking for an opportunity, that's what it is. It's an opportunity to prove yourself to be on the team. So that's how we're going to, handle it. We don't want to, we want anybody and everybody that can play and that can bring something to the scene. They're going to get an opportunity, but that's exactly what it is. So I just want everyone to understand that it's not a completely open door policy. you're more than welcome to come and work out, but there will be a selection process for those that aren't currently on the roster. So just want to make that clear. We're just trying to make sure that we got all our bases covered. We know who you are, what you can do, what your experiences are, what kind of person you are, a teammate, etc. So I just want to make sure that everybody is aware of that. All right, so I'm going to try to wrap this up here. I was going to ask you, what, as a vet, what do you advise young players as they come in? But you've kind of already touched on that in terms of just being ready to go and doing the right thing. All right, so the second to last question: looking at the NFL this season, what are you most looking forward to? Because it looks like it's going to be kind of an interesting season.
Man, honestly, I'm looking forward to. I mean, I don't know if I can really call them these, but I mean, the games are going to mean a little bit more. I'm looking forward to the rivalries that are going to come with this season.
Sure.
I mean, obviously, there's been, different organizations that, not just in the sense of we always butt heads, but it's always good competition.
I agree.
So it'll be nice to get to see, what Middleborough comes back to the table with, to see what the Green Jackets bring to the table, to, see what the Riptide do moving up.
Yeah.
And, the Warriors.
That's definitely a wild card in the hand for sure.
It's so nice to see the NFL back in the position of, on a weekly basis, we're able to give quality competitive games. You know what I mean? There is no week where it's like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, well, this team by 40, this team by this. It's like, you show up like that, and essentially you're going to get punched in the mouth and not really expect it until you're the one that's having to dig out of a hole.
Yep. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's I think there's a good blend of teams. I don't think there's any teams that are, shoestring, for lack of a better phrase. I don't really see that being an issue this year. I know the guys we had a meeting this past Saturday, and the owners in general really are excited to be back. Well, not back, but having the season put together. I say back because we're back, so that's why I say that. But last question: what do you think the biggest key to success will be for this team in 2024?
I think, honestly, one of the biggest keys is character. You know what I mean? How each and every individual, from the top to the bottom, from, owners, coaches, down to the guy who's, last on the depth chart, whatever the case is, how you conduct yourself this season, you know what I mean, and how you approach the game this season, that's going to be one of the biggest keys to success. We've seen numerous teams that have had success, but, didn't have certain characteristics or didn't have the characters to fully bring it all together. You know what I mean? So in a sense, like, if your character's off, if you're kind of that player that's not coachable, if you feel like nobody can tell you anything, you're better than this, you're better than that, like, character's going to be everything, without the open mind of, being able to be coached, being able to be told where you can get better. If it doesn't start there, you're already hindering your success.
Yeah. No, I agree. I want to thank you for coming on tonight. I think this is like your third or fourth time on. So thank you for your dedication to the program.
Appreciate being back.
So with that, guys, we will see you next week.
Send off.